Now I know why the majority of people, when you look around and you say, man, I'm surrounded by freaking idiots. I'm surrounded by this damn society. Bunch of morons. Bunch of non-critical thinkers. Don't believe anything. They'll believe garbage but won't believe anything else. Etc. Zombies. as Pastor Dowell calls them. The 3 Ds. Dumb, demoralized, and I think destitute. Dumb and demoralized, I think, is where this is heading. Now, if you ever try to research why is fluoride in water, why did they ever put it in water, why is it in your toothpaste, and if you brush your teeth twice a day, morning and night, let's say, that means every morning you're getting a nice dose of fluoride, and at evening you're getting a nice dose of fluoride, and if you drink water, chances are you're getting a nice dose of fluoride because it's all up in the water. It's put there by the city, municipalities, water company, etc. Why? No one really knows. They can't say, well, it's always been that way, and it keeps the water clean and, you know, fights off stuff. Fluoride does. Yeah, it actually fights off this thing called humans. That's what it fights off. They already put stuff in the water, chlorine and such. That kills everything off. What the hell is fluoride doing in water? No one really addresses the question. It's one of those things where it just became, you know, policy for all water companies to do it. EPA guidelines, whatever. That's all it is. But you have to wonder, when did that get passed and why did it get passed? I mean, we didn't have chlorine, you know, a few hundred years ago. Oh my God, how did people live? How did people survive without chlorine or chloride in their water? Wow, it's amazing. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they had to survive in order for me to be here right now doing this damn YouTube video and for you to be here watching it. Wow, it's amazing. Harvard study finds fluoride lowers IQ, published in Federal Government Journal. July 24th, 2012. Harvard University's researchers' review of fluoride/brain studies concludes, quote, our results support the possibility of adverse effects of fluoride exposures on children's neurodevelopment, end quote. The possibility, yeah, like possibility like, you know, 1 out of 2 or possibility of like 1 out of 2 million. I think the possibility is that most everybody. How about that? It was published online July 20th in Environmental Health Perspectives, a U.S. National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences journal. Reports the New York or NYS coalition opposed to fluoridation, Inc. Good. I'm glad there's an entity that's out there. Quote, the children in high fluoride areas had significantly lower IQ than those who lived in low fluoride areas. Really? There's probably just a coincidence. Just probably a random coincidence. Nope. Keep drinking your fluoride-infested water. You know why it's there. To dumb you down, to keep you calm and docile, because that's another side effect of it, so that when John Corzine and the Banker Club rape and pillage your retirement account, you don't go out and blow their head off, and instead, well, what can you do, you know? What can you do? Kind of stuff happens every now and then. It's just not my luck. Maybe I didn't pray enough. Maybe I didn't go to church enough. You know, maybe I should have invested in something different, you know. Well, it's my fault. It was under my control, and I knew what I was doing with my money. And I'll just have to sit here dumb, docile, and demoralized from what just happened to me. I won't do anything about it. And if you don't do anything about it, it's going to continue. Lindsey Williams said something one time when he talked about the elite and how to fix the problem. It was quite simple. And he said, picture this little story. You come home, or a guy comes home every day, there's a spider web in the corner. Every time he comes home, he gets his broom out, knocks that spider web down, and good, it's gone. Comes back home the next day, it's back up again. Gets his broom out, wipes it down again, gets his sleep, goes back to work, wakes up the next, or comes back home. Damn it, that damn spider web keeps coming and coming and coming and coming back every damn time. So he can stay docile dumb, and demoralized by the spider web, making them crazy. What am I going to do? It's simple, bozo. Kill the spider. When the spider's dead, the spider can't put no more webs out. And, even better yet, spider can't have babies that will grow up to be big spiders and follow the directions of mama dada spider and start laying eggs and nests of their own. And those spiders, by the way, are these bankers. And their sons and daughters are the baby spiders. So are you saying to go kill people? Nope. Nope. Just use an example that old Lindsey Williams used. Just repeating what he said. And he has a good point. Get rid of the spider. And that doesn't mean you have to kill the spider. Go get a jar, jail cell, prison, and get the spider, put him in the jar. AKA jail, prison. The problem, this is where it gets tricky. The problem is that you can't put anybody in jail. And the crimes that these people commit aren't local crimes. They're nationwide as well as worldwide. Therefore, federal agencies are the only ones who can do anything about it. And those federal agencies, as I've been saying 100 times now, John Corzine, MF Global, 8 months later, haven't touched them. This bozo from PFG Best that nobody knew was not part of the club. Same thing, except it was only $200 million instead of $1.6 billion stolen like John Corzine. They got this sucker in 4 to 5 days. Hook, line, sinker, snatched him up. Boom, 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 charges, done. John Corzine, still investigating. JP Morgan Chase, silver manipulation, 4 years ongoing, still investigating. So if law enforcement at the top is still investigating, there's only one person who's going to be able to put these people in jail. And even if you and 20,000 other people decided, matter of fact, 100,000 people decided we're going to this guy's house, John Corzine, for example, and we're going to put him in jail. I hope you have your own prison ready, because any other prison in this country is not going to allow you to bring him into their prison. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to start a civil war doing so, and the army's going to be called in. So what does one do when the ones at the top are supposed to follow the rule of law like the rest of us? Not supposed to break the law, but when they do break the law, no one's there to put them into punishment mode, or put them in punishment, if you will, such as prison, fine, anything. It's them. They're policing themselves. So you can see how revolutions start, and people think, oh, we're beyond that. Civilization's beyond revolutions and civil war. As long as there's no rule of law at the top, and as a matter of fact, across the board, 100% fair to everybody, it is an absolute certainty that there will be a civil war sooner or later. How long that may drag out before it happens is anybody's guess, including myself, and I have no idea. But it ultimately leads that way, and it ultimately leads to these people being caught and arrested, and possibly much, much worse when the people handle it themselves. But that's usually when what you call anarchy prevails. And again, democracy, oligarchy, king and queen, one ruler, whatever, back to democracy, etc. These cycles of government, they've been around for thousands of years. They're still around right now. And this democracy is the bottom or end of that cycle, and it starts all over again. And it usually, thus far from what I can see in history and this cycle, shows that it ends in anarchy. And then something new comes, and then the cycle starts over. During that anarchy or anarchic period, if it's not even a freaking word, a lot's going to happen. A lot of law breaking and personal trials, like they go to someone's house and put them on trial right there on the spot kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff that can happen. Again, I have no idea when it's going to. If the rule of law is not restored at the top, this will come true. If rule of law is restored at the top and everyone gets appropriately charged with crimes as they should, then this won't happen. But based off of that, what you see happening right now, and for the last 4 or 5 years, 4 years specifically, 2008 to 2012, banker bailouts, bankers, no one's been arrested. Not one high-level banker has been touched. Based on that 4-year history, History is our guide. Do you think that's gonna change willingly by these guys? They're just gonna start policing themselves, and then that one's gonna rat out this one, and this one's gonna rat out that one. They may rat each other out, but what's the penalty gonna be? All right, you both rat each other out. We're the Justice Department. We'll give you immunity since you ratted. Right, but isn't it usually one person rats on one or many, and then that one person gets immunity? Yeah. But all of them are ratting out on each other. We only needed one to rat out them all. But you gave all of them immunity. Yeah. You can see the problem with this. So, you know how I get off track. Water was the only fluoride source in the studies reviewed and was based on high water fluoride levels. However, they point out research by Ding, 2011, suggested that low water fluoride levels had significant negative associations with children's intelligence also. They wrote, although fluoride may cause neurotoxicity in animal models and acute fluoride poisoning causes neurotoxicity in adults, very little is known of its effects on children's neurodevelopment. They recommended more brain/fluoride research on children and at individual level doses. It's senseless to keep subjecting our children to this ongoing fluoridation experiment to satisfy the political agenda of special interest groups, said attorney Paul Bieber. Justin Bieber? No. Even if fluoridation reduced cavities, even if it did reduce cavities, is tooth health more important than brain health? Good question. It's time to put politics aside and stop artificial fluoridation everywhere, says Bieber. I can't agree more. And I, really quickly, am going to do a quick search. Does reverse osmosis remove fluoride? We're going to do this now. Here we go. About.com. Reverse osmosis. This is used to purify several types of bottled water, but not all. Activated alumina defluoridation filter. These filters are used in locales where fluorosis is prevalent. They are relatively expensive. Lowest price I saw was $30 per filter and require frequent replacement, but do offer an option for home water filtration. Distillation filtration, that's one way. Not quite. Now it says these do not remove fluoride. Boiling water, a Brita, a Pure or PUR, or most other filters. Freezing water doesn't do anything. Steps to reduce fluoride exposure. It says don't take fluoride supplements. I had no idea they actually made fluoride supplements, to tell you the truth. And that is extremely disturbing to hear this. Read labels on bottled beverages because it'll tell you. Consider using unfluoridated toothpaste. I would recommend that too. Avoid drinking black or red tea. Be wary of tinned fish and canned food items. Now what about... It doesn't quite say. It doesn't say whether reverse osmosis does or does not on that particular page. Let's try again. We're doing it live. Do it live. Does reverse osmosis? Let's try livestrong.com. Reverse osmosis. Does it say? The guide states that RO systems will remove fluoride ions from water. This guide also notes that RO units can be configured to produce enough fluoride-free water for an entire household and recommends that a reliable water treatment dealer be consulted to choose and install the most appropriate system. So this one is saying yes. If at the very least it didn't take all of it out, but took a mass majority, most of it out, you're a million times better than the whole rest of the world. Period. Yeah. Now distilled water will get rid of it, because distilled is basically turning it into steam, kind of like a moonshine still, except none of the mash. Goes through the coils, condenses, turns back into water without anything in it but pure water. It is 0 parts per million. There is nothing but pure water in that. So that's another way. The problem is if the taste of the water usually can kind of bother you after it's done. However, it's pure, and you can get one of those charcoal filters. Some of these units that you can buy on the, like a little desktop unit for reverse osmosis, they're about $100 or so. They'll have little filters that you sit on it while you do it, while it runs or whatever, and it's a carbon filter. Carbon is what takes all the taste out of water, so it tastes good, basically. So that's it for today, done, or tonight. It's just incredible how you have to be paying so much attention to everything going on in your life, the food you eat, the water you drink, the labels, what's in them, what's not in them, why people or companies are trying to change the labels to say stuff like organic when it's not organic, when it's genetically modified, but we grew it organically, but then it's not organic. It's pretty cut and dry. You made it in a laboratory? Yeah, it's not freaking organic. Jesus, it's almost like calling food right now that we eat when there's nothing food about it. Tastes like cheese. Tastes like lemonade. Natural flavors. Natural flavors, so it's naturally flavored by what's in there, which says strawberry drink here. So there's real strawberries, and that's why it's naturally flavored. No, naturally flavored doesn't mean naturally flavored. That's like me telling you, you know, blue is not blue. It's actually purple. Or far off, matter of fact, it's yellow. But it says blue, and then it says equals right next to it, and there's a picture of something blue. No, it's yellow. So you have to figure out that even though it's telling me this is natural, it's real, it's not real. Because the FDA allowed that to be changed. And again, who's at the FDA? As a matter of fact, the top guy, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe was a former Monsanto executive in charge, picked by Obama, I think, head of FDA. Monsanto, the genetically modifying seed company, the death seeds, the ones that, the Terminator seeds, they grow beautiful crops, and the next season, they won't grow anything. Got to go back and buy more seeds from Monsanto. Little monopoly on freaking humans' food. Disturbing as hell. The average person right now, watching TV, don't have a clue about fluoride, don't have a clue about who's in charge of the FDA, doesn't have a clue about John Corzine and the bankers, but they're going to, because it will affect them. And once it finally affects most people, that's when change will come. So, do we have a long time to go? Maybe. I don't think so. Especially if another 9/11 event happens again. I think this time they're in such a hurry, the elite, that they're going to get caught. And it's not going to go too well for them. That's my opinion. Take care.